March.
So this is actually her first time here seeing snow, so we're going to go outside and see how it is. Let's go outside. Let's go see the snow. Okay, I'm sure for you it's great.
As if I put a special there like when I went next door earlier to ask for help, it was just, I just walked in, I knocked on the door, and I'm like, hey, do any of you guys have any experience with tools? Because I'm having some trouble with my sewing machine and need some help.
And the guy
ran
like, over.
I'm drunk, but I can try. Yeah, I definitely have to say that breaking into con culture as a teenager definitely made it a lot easier to get through high school. Like, I was just always looking forward to the next con.
I guess the one thing that brings me back to Detour every year is how respectful everyone is. It's more of the fact that you don't, have you ever been to ASIN?
Yeah.
It's a really big con, it's kind of hard to manage. This one's, they limit the number of people, and everyone's super nice. I mean, everyone's super nice, deals room is awesome, cosplays are great. You know, it's just awesome.
For my Spanish class in high school, and we went on a group with people from Iowa and Nebraska, and one of the guys that was sitting in front of me from Nebraska turns around and he goes, "You're from Minnesota, right?" "Yes." "Can you say, 'don't you know?'" And I said, "Sure," and I, no emphasis at all, whatever, and I just went, "Don't you know?" And he laughed like it was the funniest thing he's ever heard in his whole life. And then I went, "Oh yeah, sure, you betcha." And then he was like, ah, and he just made fun of me the rest of the trip. I was like, we don't all talk like that. So
yeah, I got that for a year when I studied abroad in Japan. Even the professor from Minnesota was like, "Where are you from?" "Minnesota." "Oh, Minnesota, don't you know?" I'm like, where are you getting this from?
Wow.
Yeah. And then the inside has...
Wow. Oh.
If I can move up higher.
This is another art book photo.
Yeah.
From Clamp.
How many hours did it take?
A lot.
Is there anything you missed about the old days that when you first started versus now?
Hard to say. Like...
I'm sure there's pros and cons to everything.
It's hard to say because of all the controversy in the community, but I know for me personally, because I put a lot of effort into craftsmanship, I miss the heavy craftsmanship community. But the problem is now that if you say anything about craftsmanship, it's, oh, you're an elitist. At least is what's been happening online.
It comes across, I mean, it can come across that way, but, you know, intention, you always have the intention, and some people are trying not to sound like they're elitist, but someone can take it that way, so...
Especially online.
Yeah.
Right,
especially online.
Online is the hardest, so it's really hard to, like, go saying, what's this technique I'm trying to make this seem perfect, and everyone's like, well, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's like, well...
But I want it to be.
Yeah, exactly. Because cosplay is very specific to what each person wants.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
you know?
it can be super relaxed, super casual, and then you've got people that really like it as a hobby but want to do well, and then it can be your business.
Yeah, I'm going to business.
That's fine. You can have your Pablo. You're drunk. Stop.
First of all, why is it called Anime Detour?
I'm actually not sure why it's called Anime Detour. This is my second year.
Because Minnesota is famous for having like a bunch of construction.
Why?
Because that's just our year. Because like we get a lot of snow and then the roads crack open and then like they're always detouring people around.
The main reason it's called Anime Detour was originally we were in between Asen and Anime, Iowa.
Right.
And so you normally would take a straight line to the highway. This way you had to detour through Minnesota to get down. Hence why it's called Anime Detour. We're in between a number of large-scale conventions, and so it was kind of a joke, and also the fact that in Minnesota we always have the land of 10,000 potholes as well.
Yep.
And there's always construction.
Construction of clothing is my hobby and my passion, and that's what I want to do for a living. So I like learning a lot of things from other people, and I also like my friends that I meet, like this nerd.
So it's very fandom-driven?
Yeah. Yes. This series is definitely. Even originally, like when Homestuck was still really small, Hussey was first starting to make it, what he would do is he would ask for people's input on progressing the story. He did a really similar thing in this comic Problem Sleuth. It's just Homestuck got so big that he couldn't really do it anymore because it would take too long.
Yeah, like weren't all the kids' names he asked people and pulled them and he took the best names he found. Like it was really fandom driven.
Are a 501c3 company, so we're a non-profit.
Okay.
So what we do is every year, any profits that we have, we go ahead and donate locally in the Minneapolis and St. Paul area. So we give to both the Hennepin County Library System and the St. Paul Library System to the teen centers so that they have money to purchase things like anime and manga for the kids that really may not be able to afford it.
So you're using a different fabric for your costume than I've seen other people do. What made they lead to that decision?
Through some research and some just kind of word of mouth, the costume I'm doing is from kind of a turn-of-the-century noblewoman, and back then a fabric that they would use to signify nobility over the common folk would be velvet, and so I wanted to show off that it was more of a rich family that the costume was coming from.
There's a big battery for the L-tape and then 2 little batteries for the LEDs or vice versa.
I have a degree in theater and English from the University of Iowa.
Right.
The weird thing is the one thing I never did was costuming. Because every time I went down to the costume room, it was like full of women. So I was like, okay, women are costumers. But when I graduated, I didn't know what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to go to graduate school or not. So I ended up getting a job at this costume shop. Found out, you know what, 16 years of school, I'm done. I'm done with it. They decided they wanted to retire. I decided I like dressing people funny, so I bought the costume shop.
Since you're in football, does your other teammates know that you go to conventions and cosplay?
They actually do. First I kind of started off with, I make armor, I make props, I make costumes. And then once they got more and more comfortable with that, I said, I cosplay, TV shows, and then eventually got to cosplay anime. And I go to conventions and I show off. And after easing them in, they're completely and totally supportive. They think what I do is awesome.
Have you managed to convince them to come with you to a few conventions?
I've gotten about 3 of them to come to an anime convention. It took them a little while to get used to it, seeing men in skirts and women half naked and just everything that comes with a convention. But at the end of the day, they were like, that was just like one giant party with people who don't.
Can I touch it?
Forever and a half?
It's beautiful.
This is so cool.
It was even worse because I made 2 of this side, and I'm like, wait.
Oh no.
The whole thing is leather?
Yeah. Armor itself comes off like that. So you can...
Oh, wow.
There. And that roughly gets back in the... Yeah, I do.
I understand.
But it is very simplistic, so I was like, aha!
Makes sense.
Simplistic but damn impressive.
Yeah. Like it seems like it's easy to get in and out of for the most part. It's just a lot of work to make it.
It was your first time cosplaying, since this is your first weekend doing it.
It's been fun so far. It's just all the strangers coming up asking for pictures.
Obviously, that's not the norm.
So this is something that you always bring.
It's not for our use, it's for the judges because they don't always know all of the characters, so it's for them to kind of accurately see like all your details and how well you portray the character.
So you basically put reference photos inside for them.
And then you also have to include like progress pictures.
First I'm actually being in a masquerade, but it's my third time trying to get into one.
Okay, okay. So are you nervous about this?
Incredibly.
Incredibly nervous.
This is my 4th year of con going. I've always wanted to do the masquerade, but this is the first time I'm going to do it this time.
This is my first official contest.
What made you decide to just try this time?
Well, to be honest, it's because I was watching the show Heroes of Cosplay, and I enjoyed the show as an aspect, and like I've done like minor costumes before, but nothing like contest work.
Not really. We like being silly, and the sillier you are, the more people like accept it and everything.
I mean, of course you get butterflies.
Yeah. We're just here to have fun, and everyone wants you to have fun, so there's not too much pressure.
And you realize, oh, all those people are going to be watching you. It's crazy. Yeah.
So it's probably a good thing when you get on stage, you can hardly see the audience because the light's so bright.
It's really nice. It's wonderful because it's like, if you get really nervous or self-conscious, just pretend like there's nobody there.
Right.
What is it about competition that makes you compete? Or what is it about winning?
Just for the fun of it, really. It's more of, hey, I made this really cool costume, but I don't want to wear it the entire time, and I want the most people to see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and these are made of spoons.
Oh my God, you're right. They are spoons.
Yes.
Just frosted, or not frosted, but
spray painted
spray
over.
painted. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's so clever, because yeah, broke college students.
And welcome to the American Bankers Association Fall Meeting. Anime Detour 2014 Cosplay.
Awesome. Congratulations. So how was that, what went through your head when you figured out it was like you guys?
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh yeah. God, oh God, oh Well, God. because I'm like, oh God, what did we win? And I'm like, well, what's the last one? Wait. Oh my God, it's Preston's show.
We want this to be not just an anime con. We want this to be a safe place where kids can come, see another person and just talk about an anime that they know and love, and then also within the community try and be a place that shows that when you try and build something, greatness happens.